Greeting lecturers and everyone. Today our team will be covering the topics of promoting academics achievement, which lean on to more on the motivations, procrastination, teamwork, leaderships, and the communication. And today we will be presented by five of our wonderful members, by Siniat, Darika, Mitirat, Rangsai, and Sereniang. So moving on to the next slide. So onto this slide, we'll be focusing more onto promoting academics achievement and work success. So in everyday life, in both educational and professional environment, success doesn't happen automatically. It requires certain skill, knowledge, behavior, and attitude to help individual to perform effectively and achieve their goals. Um, in this slide, we will be exploring several important key factors that contribute to these successes, including motivation, managing procrastination, teamwork, leaderships, and effective communication. Furthermore, these skills are important to help each individual by staying focused, managing their responsibility, work well with other people in teamworks and work environment, and overall challenges that they come across as well. By developing this ability, student and profession can improve their performance and achieve better result in both academics and future career. Moving on to the next slide. Onto this slide, we will be talking more on to the academics and work success. First, it is important to understand what it means by academic achievement and work success. So, academic achievement would be referring to student ability to perform well in educational activities such as completing assignment, understanding course material, achieving good grade, and good teamwork. Work success, on the other hand, would be referred to the ability of student they perform effectively in professional environment, meet job um, responsibilities, and contribute positive to the organizations. However, success in this area is not only determined by intelligence or knowledge, it also determined by other key several factors as well. For example, a personal motivation play a major role because it encourages individual to pursue their goal and stay committed onto their task. Self-discipline and time management also help individual to stay organized and completed work on time. In addition, success often require collaborating with other people, especially in group projects or teamwork, or in other workplaces that require a team bondings and a teamwork. This is where skill like leaderships, communications become more and critically important, as they help people to share their ideas, solving problems, and work toward common goal together. Therefore, academic and professional success involve not only knowledge but also at the same time the importance of how they able to use those onto their entrepreneurial skills as well. Moving on to the next slide. Onto this slide, we will be talking why are promoting this skill is important. So, promoting this skill important because many student and employee faces challenge that can negatively affected their performance. One of the common challenges is the procrastination. We procrastinate since from learning until work. So, which occur that many individuals delay important tasks or assignment until the last minute to complete it. This often lead to stress, lower quality of work, and poor academic result. Another challenge is the time management, not just student but also professional as well, where individuals struggle to organize their schedule and balance multiple responsibility when they come to multiple work. In addition, some people experience low motivation and lack of clear goal, which can also be a difficult challenges for them to stay focused and productive. Communication difficulty and limited experience in teamwork can also create a problem, especially when individuals need to collaborate with other group projects or workplace environment. By developing these crucial skills, such as motivation, time management, teamwork, leaderships, and communication, individual can overcome these challenges. This skill can help improve academic performance, increase productivities, and certainly collaborating with other people. Most important, they can prepare students for expectations and responsibility they will face in their future career as well. Moving on to the next slide. So onto the slide, I have already mentioned the key factor, which is the five one in above, but onto the side, I will be talking even deeper onto it. And yes, there are five key factors that help promote academic success and achievement on work as well. So the first key factor would be motivations. Motivation encourages individual to pursue their goal and stay committed to their work. When people are motivated, they are likely to put in the effort and more obstacle that they can be overcome during the challenges that they have faced and continue working even the task become difficult. Second would be the time management and the managing of procrastination. So procrastination can prevent individual from completing tasks on time and can reduce productivities by developing a better time management skill and setting clear priority. Individual can stay focused and completed their responsibility more effectively. Third would be the teamwork. So in many academics and professional situations, people must come to work together to achieve their shared common goal. Teamwork allows individuals to combine their strengths, share ideas, and solve problems more efficiently. And the fourth is the leadership is also important skills. Leadership involving guiding and motivating others, making decisions, taking the responsibility for the group outcome. Effective leaders help team to stay organized and focusing on to achieving their objective. Lastly is communication, which is essential for success. Good communication allows individuals to express their idea clearly, listen to others, and avoid misunderstanding. Strong communication skill help team collaborate more effective and improve overall performance. And together, all of these five key factors create a strong foundation for both academic success and professional development. Moving on to the next slide, my member will share more on to what is procrastination.
Now let's talk about procrastination. So procrastination basically it refer to delaying tasks that we should do now, even though we know that if you delay, it might be cause to the problem later. For example, you are assigning the assignment from the class, and the deadline is next week. So when you are assigned, you may say that, oh, let's do it tomorrow. And when tomorrow it comes, you may tell yourself that, tomorrow or maybe on Sunday or Saturday I'm free, so I will do it. But when Sunday or Saturday come, you might feel like, oh, it's the weekend, I should go out, I should hang out, I should find something to eat, and I will do it tomorrow. So at the end, you may do it before the deadline only one day, and somehow it can also exceed the deadline as well. So that called procrastination. Procrastination are divided into two parts. The first one is the fast thinking and the second is slow thinking. So now I would like to introduce about the system one, or we can call it fast thinking. So it basically is a quick and automatic. It helps us to make a decision quickly, but it also makes us choose an easy distraction as well. For example, you are planning to study and in your room you have your book and phone and computer. So during your studying, somehow you forgot to like turn on the notification or of your messenger, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. So when the notification it pop up, you might feel like, oh, should I check it? Somehow you might feel like, oh, I will like reply to this notification or I check it only 1 minute. But back then when you check it, you might feel like, oh, it's really interesting. Should I click more to see more notification? So that's also my experience too. When I when I'm studying and using my phone, it's not really effective. So it might be called fast thinking. So moving on to the slow thinking for this part. Actually, this system too basically is a more logical and require effort. It helps us plan, analyze the problem, and focus on a long-term goal. For example, you decide to finish your assignment step by step instead of doing something easier uh, for this part, which means that, for example, I am a third year student, and each term the professor or the lecturer always assign the team to work for the final project, and you can do it at the early of the term until the end of the term. And for this, to make sure that my team and me do not like get the burnout or overwhelming at the end of the term, we start planning the project, like break down our project into step to step at the early of the term. So each week we still update the progress and we do the part that we have divided into small part. So at the end of the term, we can like complete that project properly and can present to the professor or the lecturer on time. So that's called slow thinking. It means that you break down the task that you will do step by step and you work on it every day or every week. Yes. And here is the three main points to overcome procrastination. The first one I will introduce about the action technique, and the second environment and the time management, and the last but not least is about mindset and emotional shift. Actually, these three main points I also doing a research and based on my experience too. And now let me talk about the first one, action technique. So I mentioned 2 points. The first one is the 5 minute rule. This means that we commit to work on a task for just 5 minutes. If you cannot like concentrate or work on it like 1 to 2 hours, so you can divide it into 5 minutes for the first time. So after that 5 minutes, maybe you can do another thing like take a cup of coffee or do another thing for only 1 minute, and then you just get back and do the task by continue with the 5 minutes, and you do this round by round, and maybe yeah, round by round. And the second is the breakdown task. So for this part you divide the like task overwhelming project into a smaller. Actually, I think I mentioned with the previous slide already, it may be related to the slow thinking or system two. Yeah, so this part maybe you when you meet the project or the big project, maybe you can start to divide into small part, like which one is the part that you can do it first and put for the next step. Yeah. And the second main point is the environmental and time management. In this main section, I divide into three parts. The first one is remove distraction. So during your studying or your working hour, you may turn off your phone, or you can maybe turn on, but like turn off the notification of Instagram, Facebook, or Telegram as well. And by doing this, you can focus on your work or your studying better than you just turn on all the notification. And the second one is create a routine for your working hour or your studying as well. Establish a consistency daily schedule to structure your work by using a digital tool, or you can just use a paper or your phone as well. So basically, as based on my experience, I use a paper base to note, for example, tomorrow, what should I do in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So I list down everything that I will do tomorrow. Somehow I note it down on my paper or on my phone, because on the phone they also have a note for us to save as well. So it can create our daily schedule for us too. And move to the last one is the mindset and emotional shift. For this part, I divide into three as well. The first one is the understand trigger. So, which means that you need to identify why avoiding the task, or is it feeling overwhelmed. For this part, I would recommend you to like going to your friend or your among your group or your cycle of your friend to ask them like, what does this project should do at the first point. For example, you stuck with that project, you don't know how to start with it. So maybe you can seek accountability for your friend, ask them. Somehow you work as a group and you don't know how to divide that part into the small step or small step. So but your team they know it how to break down the project into small steps. So if you ask them, and then you will understand, oh, what step should I do first? So you maybe can understand better than you just sit down and, oh, how can I like divide that project into small part and still feel overwhelming. Yeah. Move to the second is the seek accountability. I actually used to have this experience too. When I working on my project or any assignment alone, somehow I kind of feel like lose concentrate and cannot focusing well. But that's why I need to find my partner or find my friendship or my classmate in the class to ask them, oh, can you explain me this? Like, can you explain me this, or can you tell me like how this project will work? What should I start first? And at some point, I also ask my friend to like, how do I look so far? Am I improve myself like for the studying and for the another stuff too. So when you have your friend or you seek accountability from your friend, whether your teacher, your parent, or your family, they will tell you the truth. So you also can like take that let's say the improvement from them to upgrade yourself too. And the third one, use the reward for yourself too. So for this point, you may provide yourself with the small reward for completing the task. At this point, I think people already make this for themselves and for me too. For example, as I mentioned, the word kaizen here actually is a Malatang, and Sichuan soup that really famous or popular in Phnom Penh or for the Gen Z like me. So when I start doing something, I always provide myself that if I done this thing, I will go to eat kaisin. So that's my motivation that I somehow I lose my motivation. I don't wanna do that work for this day. But when I feel like okay, I will give the reward for myself. I start to feel the energy and start working on that project. Yes.
In order for people to achieve everything in their life, including their work achievement and their work success, they need another factors, which is fueling motivation. So you may ask, what exactly is a motivation and how is it really important for people that they need it in order to achieve what they want in their life? So I would like to bring you to my own definition of motivation. I define motivation as a driving force for people, and a driving force, a catalyst that help people to start possessing energy or courage, and they can start doing anything in their own life. So in fact, there are two types of motivation. First one, we call it intrinsic motivation, and the second one is we call it extrinsic motivation. So what is the differences between these two? Intrinsic motivation is driven by personal feeling, by our own self feeling. Is that motivation come from our own feeling, our own readiness, and then extrinsic motivation is driven by external factors accepting ourselves. External factors, this point, I mean that the other environments around you that influence how you want to do things, or that motivation is come from the other factors and not from you yourself. So I will detail more about what is intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation with few examples. So again, intrinsic motivation is like you do any activity because it is interesting to you or enjoyable or it is really like meaningful to you. Okay. And extrinsic motivation is like you do any activity just to get, the separated income, reward, grade, money, approval, or to avoid any punishment. Basically, it's like you are afraid of the other factors. You are afraid of the punishment. Let's take a look at the two example that I have put. For example, in intrinsic motivation, you may say, "Oh, I want to do this project because the challenge will help me grow further. When I do this project, I will learn more and I will get more experience." This is motivation, or this is example of intrinsic motivation. Focusing on extrinsic motivation is another angle. Let's say if you say that, oh, I will do this project because if I do it, I may get an extra bonus or a promotion. So as you can see in this example, is mean that intrinsic motivation is driven by our personal feeling. We think that it is important. We think that it is meaningful for us. And another one is that we do it because, oh, someone might giving you a bonus or something. So that is the external factors. Another example is just like I am a university student. So if I think that motivation is like I spend my time on this essay because I actually care about the message that I am writing. So they start by our own feeling that we actually care about what we are doing. And in the extrinsic motivation angle, we will just say like, I will finish this essay quickly just because that I can avoid a penalty so that my score is not deducted. So this is just a few examples of intrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. There are a lot of examples that you can see in this life, and it's happened. You can see it in every aspect in your life as well. Now we'll talk about why promoting motivation is important. As shown on the slide, I have mentioned three key importance of motivation and how is it influent in improving people's life. Moving on to the first one is persistency. So persistency is important key components for people that they should have it. And also persistency can help you to test people by just asking one question. Do you give up when things get hard? Will you keep going even there are a lot of obstacle or barrier coming toward you? So motivation is really important because it allows people to check their persistency to see if they really have the struggle or like the courage, or they have the motivation, the strong motivation enough to keep going even things fall apart. Second one is quality of engagement. Motivation is also really important because they can also like help you whether you are doing things at the bare minimum or at the deepest level. For example, I myself, I want to work on one project. Am I actually learning it to the deep level? Am I actually dig deeper to that specific topic? Or am I just doing it at the bare minimum, like almost the deadline, and then I'm just starting to doing it? So it can also help you measure your own quality of engagement to see if you actually engage in any topic or in any aspect of your life. This not only work on the academic aspect, but you can also test it in your relationship, your family relationship, your connection, your friend, your bond, or at your workplace as well. Last but not least, is also promote human well-being. So you can see it yourself. If you have the motivation or you don't have it, do you feel drained or do you feel alive while you're doing anything in your life? When you have the motivation, how do you feel? And when you don't have it, how are you, really feel? So this are the importance of the motivation and influence people quality of life. I believe that you have enough understanding of what is motivation, how many types of motivation, and the importance of the motivation itself. So now let's try to learn how and what are the approach that we can use in order to fuel it, to fuel the motivation within yourself. So I have brought four approach that you can try to use to see if you can actually, keep your motivation burning. So the first one is to find one curiosity in every task to stay fueled for long term. Some people feel really drained, feel energyless, like meaningless. They don't find any meaning in continue doing anything in their life. For example, you are working in one workplace and you feel like, oh, I don't want to keep doing this anymore. It feels really drained. It drained me. I don't know what am I supposed to do. What should I do? Like, why am I continue? What is it for? So you can still have the motivation by find one curiosity. Back to the example that I mentioned about you going to your workplace and then you don't have the motivation. How about you find one thing to keep you focused? Let's say you want to see and you want to find the answer. How is your manager working tirelessly? What are the strategy? So when you have that question, every day that you go to work, you want to look for that answer. Just mean like it keeps you motivated so that you can find the answer to that question. So it is actually one of the curiosity. And it's not only in the workplace. Let's say in your studying journey, you feel like this is keeping me like this studying is stressing me out. I don't know what am I here for. How about you find one interesting course that you want to try and learn it and develop yourself. So that is also one of the curiosity. Second one is to value small visible progress. Because motivation is not about being the best. Motivation is not about you achieving things at the greatest, but it's a catalyst, it's a source. It's a source for you to keep going, to keep doing things, to have the courage to do things at the best. But it doesn't mean that you have to be the greatest. So, while your small progress is also important in fueling your motivation, I give you another example. This year, like you have a New Year resolution, 2026. I want to stay. I want to become more healthier. So I will walk every weekend. For the first time in your working journey, you can only achieve like 2 kilometers for 30 minutes. So you may think that if you value it, even though it sounds small, 2 kilometers, it sounds small to you, but it can also be a source of your motivation because you think like, oh, this is my first time, I can do this. I might do it better the second time or the third time, the next week, the next day after. I may can achieve 5 kilometers in 40 minutes. That's also something that you can appreciate, that you can value. So if you value and if you start to appreciate more small things, you can also getting more motivated by yourself. It's like you're becoming 0.01% better every day. And even small progress deserve your recognition, deserve your appreciation. So the third one is to connect with more people. Somehow people, when they only stay in one place, they isolated themselves, they only remain in their circle of mind. They cannot get anywhere at all. But if people start to connect with more people outside, the people that they haven't known, the people that they haven't seen before, or the people that they idolize, they're most likely to feel motivated too. For example, today you choose to join one event where everyone is like a role model and expertise, of like well achieved people, and then you go there. Somehow, even though if you kind of feel like, oh, I'm jealous of them, that is not gonna help you grow. But if you frame it in a positive way, oh, this people is inspiring me. I look at him; he is so cool. He doing great work. His effort inspiring me to be better, to do better. So when you connect with more people, you are not staying in like the closed room anymore. Your heart open, your mind broaden, and everything is starting to feel better when you connected more people. But make sure you choose the right people to connect with. And last one is fueling other is also fueling ourselves. Have you ever heard something like what goes around came around? Yes, I somehow believe in that because what if you are a giver, and someday, the next day, you can also be a receiver. What you give, sometime other people can also take you. So at this point, I mean that if you fuel the motivation to other, you can also receive it. You can also feel motivated. Now imagine like you are the senior at a high school, and then you motivated you give a inspiration speech to your junior, and then they feel motivated, then they send you a text, oh, you are my inspiration, my role model, you motivate me to keep to work harder. You listen and then you hear that, and then you are motivated. You feel that I should continue doing this because people appreciate me, people understand my effort, and more people are motivated by me, so why should I stop? So that is also one of the factors, one of the approach that you should try. So these are the different approach that you can try, and yes, that's all my point.
So, in this part of the presentation, I will talk about team dynamics, which focuses on how collaboration and leadership influence the success of a team. Strong teamwork does not happen automatically. It requires clear communication, the trust between members, and effective leadership to guide the group toward a shared goal. And to explain how our team works together, I will cover five key points. First, I will discuss group dynamics, including concepts like social facilitation and social loafing. Second, I will talk about building trust, especially the importance of psychological safety within a team. Third, I will explain our team experience, including how we started working together since our first year at university. Fourth, I will share our competition experience where we tested our teamwork in real competitive environments. Finally, I will talk about our future vision and how our strong collaboration may help us continue developing this project further. First of all, I would like to talk about group dynamics, which refers to how people interact, behave, and perform when they work together in a team. So, in psychology, the way a group functions can strongly influence the performance of each individual member. And one important concept is social facilitation, meaning that people often perform better when they are working around others who are motivated and engaged. For example, when we see our teammates working hard, it naturally pushes us to stay focused and put in more effort. That's why in our team, this kind of positive environment motivates everyone to contribute and improve their work. However, there is also a challenge called social loafing that happens when some individuals reduce their effort in a group because they believe others will complete the work. This can sometimes happen when tasks are unclear or when responsibility is shared by too many people. And that's why, to prevent this issue, our team focuses on clear roles and accountability, as each member is assigned specific responsibilities so everyone understands what they need to do and how their work contributes to the overall project. And this kind of approach helps ensure that every team member stays engaged and actively contributes. The second important factor in strong teamwork is building trust among team members. In psychology, this kind of concept is often described as psychological safety. So, what does it mean? Psychological safety means creating a team environment where everyone feels comfortable expressing their ideas, asking the questions, or even making mistakes without feeling embarrassed or being judged. So, when team members feel safe to speak openly, it also encourages activity and problem solving. In our group, we try to maintain open communication, meaning that if someone has a suggestion, any concern, or new ideas, they feel comfortable sharing it with the team. And we also discuss challenges honestly so we can solve problems together. And another important part of trust is mutual respect, as each member of our team has different skills and perspectives, and we try to value those differences. And by respecting each other's opinions and supporting one another, we are able to collaborate more effectively and maintain a positive team environment. Our teamwork did not begin with this project. In fact, our experience working together started during our first year at the university. Since then, we have been involved in many group assignments and collaborative projects. And through those experiences, we had the opportunity to work with many different classmates and teams that allow us to learn how different personalities, communication styles, and working habits can affect teamwork. And some team works very smoothly, while others may face more challenges. And those experiences help us understand what makes teamwork effective. Over time, we realized that our current team has strong chemistry as we share similar goals, communicate well, and support each other when facing difficulties. Because of those positive experiences, we decided to continue working together on more important projects, included this one. In addition to working together on university assignments, our team also participated in several competitions last year. Those competitions provided a valuable opportunity for us to apply our teamwork skills in a more challenging environment. Competitions are different from our normal class assignments because they often involve limited time, higher pressure, and stronger competition from other teams, which means that Team members must collaborate quickly, share ideas effectively, and make decisions efficiently. Through those experiences, we were able to test how well we work together when facing real challenges. Fortunately, we achieved successful results in some of these competitions, which strengthened our confidence as a team. It also showed us that our collaboration and teamwork can be effective even under pressure. Last but not least, I would like to talk about our future vision as a team. So at the moment, this project is still part of our academic work at university. However, the experience of working together has shown us the value of strong collaboration and teamwork. Over the years, we have built a strong foundation of trust, communication, and shared responsibility. And those qualities help us work efficiently and support each other during challenges. And because of the strong team foundation, we believe that our project has potential for further development in the future. While it is currently a university project, we hope to continue improving it and exploring opportunities to develop it beyond the classroom.
So I will cover the effective communications. I will talk three things. So the first one, how to speak powerfully using the health framework. Second, how to listen actively. And the last one, how to stop the habit that silently destroy the relationship. So let's get into it. So the health framework, H stand for honesty. So you should say what you mean, be truthful, even when it's uncomfortable. So people will trust those who speak with it. I stand for authenticity. So you should stop performing. When you show up as your genuine self, people connect with you, not the version that you're trying to impress them. So I stand for integrity. So your words must match your actions. Nothing destroy credibility faster than saying one word and doing another thing. So walk your talk. Last one, L stand for love or goodwill. This one is my favorite. So before you speak, you should ask yourself, am I saying this with the best interest of this person in mind? When people feel your goodwill, they will lower their guard and they actually hear you. Here's the challenge. Before your next important conversation, you should ask yourself, am I being honest? Am I being authentic? Do I have integrity, or am I speaking with goodwill? This one habit alone will change how people respond to you. Let's move on to the next slide. So here, let's talk about listening, because most of us are worse at it than we think. So imagine if you in a conversation and you're not being along, but in your head you're already composing your response. So that's not a listening. That's waiting. So here are the three habits that you that can make you a genuinely great listener. So the first one, you should focus fully to what the person that you are listening to. So you should put your phone face down, close your laptop, and turn to what the person that you are listening to. So the signal is matter and it's important when you in the conversation. Number two, or reflect back. When someone finish speaking before you respond, you should try saying like, so what I'm hearing is, and paraphrase what they said. This confirms that you understood what they're saying, and it's make the other person feel heard. Third, you should ask before you assume. um you should never do the mind reading. Mind reading is when you fill the blank with your imaginations. So when you're in a situation where you don't get enough information, we tend to create a conclusions or the the final answers toward that situations, and it's happened in our mind only. It's not completely right. This is how we react to a certain situations. So, for example, when someone didn't reply your message, you might think that they are angry at you, or when they don't invite you to an event or a party, you must think that they don't like you. So that's the problem. Our assumptions are almost always wrong. We react to a story when we make up in our head, and that's how the relationship suffer. So instead of saying the negative response, you should like checking in, like is everything okay? Did I explain this clearly, or let me check in on you? So just to clarify, and yes, just ask questions and never assume. So to sum up to everything I have explained, so the health framework, A stand for honesty, A stand for authenticity, I stand for integrity, and L stand for love or goodwill. So you should apply this every time you in a conversations. And second, listen to understand, not to respond, not to reply. Give people your full presence, and it is matter in a relationship, in a conversation. Last but not least, never assume. You should ask questions, because question build bridge, but assumption builds wall in the situation. So, and last, you should remember that communication is not a soft skill, it is a foundation that every other success in your life is built upon. So that's all for my presentation.
Yes, and on to the final message for the whole presentation, which is our call to actions. To conclude everything, academic achievement and work success are influenced by more than just knowledge and responsibility and the intelligence. They also depending on skills and the habit of individual develop throughout their life as well. Small action create such as a building's positive habit, staying motivating, managing time effectively, and communicate well with other people and can make significant differences in people's success. Moreover, by continuously developing this success, individual can improve their performance, overcome challenges, and create even better opportunity for their futures as well. Therefore, success begin with small but consistent effort. By starting today, taking step to motivate teamworks, leaderships, communication, student can build a strong foundation for both academics, achievement, and professional success. And thank you, everyone.